Okay guys, here we go with the worm-eaten book. So I'm really pleased that these books are not damaged inside. It's just the cover. Now I did forget to mention that I did actually freeze all of those books just in case there were, you know, any larvae or active worms in there. I put them in sealed bags and I'm left them. Most of the books I've frozen, I've left at, you only have to leave them 5 to 10 days. But I don't know what I've got going on here. I actually left them 2 weeks, and so there are no active worms in there. Now, if anyone who purchases these books, they will be messy to pull apart. There might be some book dust in there. And yeah, there's don't appear to be any worms, have been any worms in the pages. So these were in worse condition. I actually thought I had grabbed a few more of those, but I can't find any, so I obviously didn't. I think I was horrified by this. Now, the other thing I wanted to say about the worms, they are little tiny worms. They're probably about that big there. And they're like a pale yellowy color or beige color. And I'm usually I'm the type of person that gets really grossed out by things and dry reaches. And these ones, they don't really gross me out. I don't know why. They're actually kind of cute. Can I say that? But they do, look what they do to the books, the terrible little critters. So this here, I left this on here because I would have pulled it off. This is the end page. Look at that. This is what I mean, like with all of this going on here, you can't actually, it's really hard to pull off. And the reason why I would need to pull that off, if I can, where it is because when I glue on it's not for the faint-hearted, this job, honestly. But when I glue on the scrapbooking paper, and that will cover all of that up, I don't want it to be lifting off. So what I'm trying to do here, I might just grab my knife. Now this is not the end paper, this is actually the one that was glued down, but I'm going to take this off, but I'm just mucking around here doing this. Now, let me see. Actually, I might go and, I got this sponge. Just a minute, I'm going to go and get it. Okay, so I've got this kind of spongy, foamy, spongy thing. I've just dampened it a bit, and I'm going to use that to clean a little bit as well. I've squeezed out as much water. In fact, I almost pulled it apart as I can, because it picks up a lot of grime. Now, what I'm going to do here is take my scissors. I find the scissors easier. It won't be straight, the spine. I wanted to keep the spine if I can. This one is much more wonky than what the other one was in that book, and so I don't know if I'll be able to flatten it, but I might be able to, so we'll see. So if you obviously I'm not selling these exact books, I'm selling the other ones because I don't have any more of these. And I wanted to use it as my example because I'd already taken the pages out, because these ones I didn't freeze. I didn't know about the freezing when I got these ones. And so I literally went out on my look at that. That's all what I mean about the worm dust. That's what they create. So I'm just going to wipe that off, and with a wet one. It's going to happen multiple times that it's going to be messy, and I'll just keep wiping it off. Look at that. That's all worm dust from them drilling their holes. Okay. I know, isn't it funny? Bookworms do actually exist. Okay, and I had a dry wet one here somewhere. Where's it gone? Oh, I threw it down there. I'll pick that up and dry. This one's a bit gluey, but it's dry glue. Okay, right, so let's do it again. Maybe you know what, I might work on a piece of paper. That might be clever. How about that? Then I don't have to keep. So that I need to clean up. Here I'm just going to take off any loose bits that I can find without pulling too much off the book. So if you're getting the other books, that's what I wanted to say. You may want to, I'll just grab it. It has a fairly decent spine, but if you wanted to increase the spine, but the spine is lovely, it's damaged, but it's lovely, you can cut it off and then do what we're going to do here, flatten it and glue it onto a piece of thick cardboard. I use the back of, you know, watercolor pads and those sorts of things, and it's very strong. So that's all. I think that's all going to be good. And let me see here. Because, you know, I think one of the reasons I don't get overly grossed up, well, I do get a little bit, but not too bad, because they're so old. And, you know, you can't expect old things to be in, you know, a perfect state. So I'm going to grab this. It's not too wet. It's a bit hard to wipe on this one because it's just going to pick up a bit of the grime, because it's, you know, so not a smooth surface. That's what I'm trying to say. Just pick up a bit of the grime here. And just going to, I don't want to wipe too hard because that was obviously printed at some stage, and I don't want to wipe it off because sometimes that can happen. It's just a foam sponge. I found them on Amazon. And see, if I go like this, then the dust, look how much, because it's all in those grooves, so it will continue to come out. I'll tell you what else is good is a brush. So let me just grab a brush. I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay, so I've got a brush here that I can use. A soft brush. This is fairly soft. And you can just go in there and brush out the dust that you can. And that a brush is a nice softish sort of brush, is quite indicated for cleaning books. Yeah, I'm going to do a whole video about that. Terry asked me to. I'm just waiting for one thing to arrive that I saw someone using to clean documents. Oh my gosh, there's so much. Documents and books. And when I get that, and I know that you can easily get it in the States, and you can probably get it in the UK. I'm not sure about Australia. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really good product. When that arrives, I think it should arrive this week, I will do the video. Although I'm not an expert. I really am not. I just do what I can. Okay, so I've got lots of dust out of that one, out of those. Okay, I think that'll be okay. Just drop that down into my garbage bin. Okay, so I need to have a look at this. This is really a mess. So I want to take off all the loose bits here. We don't want those. Now you could get a leather cream and put that over. I might see what I can find on Amazon. Honestly, Amazon is my go-to because I wouldn't know where to look here for anything like that. I'm sure there is. But yeah, a leather cream can sort of make this not so dry and bring it back to life. So I think I will look into that. Okay, that's looking pretty good. All right, so we'll get rid of that. I'm just going to give that a little wipe with the sponge. And I'll probably give it a brush as well. Just clean it. So my sponge is just slightly damp. Okay, that's good. Might make it easier to maneuver as well. There we go. And I can just give that a wash and then put that back in my paintbrush thing. Okay, good. So now I need to grab my board. It's fairly simple. It's just the same as regular bookmaking. I'm going to grab this, put it that way. First of all, I'm going to measure my height. This is how I do it, like I do everything else. I want it to be, it can even be slightly smaller. It doesn't have to be the exact. So there's my marking there for the height. And I think I will do a 1.5 inch. Well, that's very big, isn't it? How big did I do that one? Where's my ruler? Here. Let's see. Yeah, I did 1.5 inch. So that's what I'm going to do on this one as well, because it worked well. So I think I'll cut it down this way. That way, I won't cut across there first, because what I think is I want to get the most out of this piece of cardboard. So I'm going to cut down here first and then cut that off, because then I might use what's left over for a taller journal. So yeah, it's always a good idea to think about how can I get the most out of this piece of cardboard or paper or whatever it is when you're cutting. So I need this, and we'll take a few goes because it's very thick. It's just the back of a watercolor pad or something like that. Yeah, I think it is. You need a nice sharp knife to get through it. There we go. Who knows if it's exactly straight? Nothing's exactly straight when I do them. And then here I just sort of, as best I can, line it up on there and cut that way. This way is a little bit hard. You really got to put some pressure because it could move. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, that's really not perfect. Anyway, once you get it going, then you can... There we go. Got that. And I might keep that. You never know. Silly, aren't I? Okay, so there's my piece. Now, my next job is I am going to choose a piece of fabric for mine because I need to rebuild the spine. And you would do the same. If you're going to pull this apart, so to pull it apart, if you're new, you need to sort of, I don't want to wiggle it too much on camera because I don't want to get all the stuff everywhere. There's not much coming out of this one, so I think this one's had a bit of glue in here. So this one, yep, this is what they've glued it in there. It should be a floating spine, but there's glue. They've done some repairs. You need to run your knife carefully down here. If you don't want to break the spine, you've got to carefully, but this one's had some glue, so that might be tough. So separate that. If you want to cut it down there, if you want to separate it and put a bigger spine in, this is a fairly decent one. I keep saying that, don't I? Very repetitive. It's about 1.25 inches, but if you want to make it 1.5 and grow it, then you need to do what I'm doing here. Okay, otherwise you just pull it apart like you'd pull apart a regular sort of book. Right, I don't know that we need that right now. So now what I need is to choose a fabric, and because of the colors in mine, I'm probably, is that the same? No, this is a different one to what I already used, and it's not, I'm not going to be able to, oh, I could do it that way. Oh no, it folds out. I do have enough, so I could put it, that's going to be covered. I want to see the stripe, so I think I'm going to have it going sideways like that one. So what I'm going to do is put my glue on here. PVA glue. It's the best. Honestly, it does the job. So what I did with this one was I had actually glued this directly onto there. And then I thought, no, I need to put fabric under there first. So then I actually, with great difficulty, had to use my knife and pull it off. But what it did do with this one was it flattened it for me. And that was fantastic because then I was able to glue it back on again. So I'm hoping I'll be able to, I won't have too much trouble gluing this one on because it is really wobbly. But I may have to, we may have to stop the video and dampen it, flatten it, and then do the gluing. that may have to happen, so we'll see. I'm just going to, well, when you're gluing on fabric, although this is mostly going to be covered by the original spine, I just like to smooth it. And now my brain is thinking, do I want to, that's dry, this one, do I want to rip this? Maybe I do. I don't know if it'll rip though, because it is. I don't want it to be too wide because I don't want to cover too much of the cover. This is just extra reinforcement. I can rip it, just extra reinforcement when gluing it all together. And it's crooked, so I'm going to grab my fabric scissors and just slightly straighten it because that's a bit wider. I'm just going to eyeball it. It's honestly not a problem. Okay, that's good, and it's too long obviously, so let's just glue this on. I'm going to leave a little bit top and bottom overhanging, and I've got to try to put it more or less in the center. You can see with the ripping it sort of distorts a little bit top and bottom, and kind of maybe not have left enough. No, I think that'll be all right. I probably should have left a little bit more. See how it oozes? That's why you don't want thick glue. Okay, so let's take the bottom off there. Okay. And then, where's my piece? I need to try to glue. Now, you don't have to keep the spine if you don't want to, but I wanted to. Where's it gone? Oh, there, it's right here in front of my face. I think I may be able to glue it. What you need then is bulldog clips. I think I'll put it that way. So I'm going to put a whole lot of glue in here. And it's a bit fiddly because but these ones are in better state, these spines, so you won't have quite as much trouble as me. But then we're going to have a nice flat spine when we glue it all together inside, and you can just do the hidden spine, gluing it right onto the spine you created, rather than having to float it. And I have done the floating ones before, but I would have to find the video. Put a lot, you want it to stick, but it's going to resist a little bit because of its shape. So let me see. I'm going to put it that way. I think I'm going to have this as the top because I'll tell you what I would like is that to be on the front. So I'm going to squish it out. It's going to be a little bit of maneuvering is going to be happening here. So what I did first the last time when I glued the other one was, I'm going to pick this up. Just, yeah, pick it up and have a look where your cardboard is. Squish as much as possible and then put a bulldog clip and clip it on. And I just did that, and I'll clean this as I go. I don't have easy glue. And as I go down, yep, I'm going to be able to do this one. Need to curl it out because this one's curling, of course. Okay, and then as I go down, I'm going to clip it on. You know, we're giving the book new life. The poor thing, it's been through the wars, as my granny would say. Oh, you poor dear, you've been through the wars. So I'm going to clip that on there. Maneuver it. I'm going to grab some more. And we'll have to wait for this to dry now. So, but what we can do is start doing some work on the covers, and then I'll have to put it all together probably tomorrow. I don't think I'll be able to put it together today. If it's dry by this afternoon, I'll come back. You'll see me within a second that I'm back, and we can put it together. If not, we have to wait till tomorrow. Nice bulldog clip there. See how it's curling? You have to get your finger under there. or the knife and just maneuver it out like that. Squish it down. It really does work a treat. It's really good. Clip. I thought I was going to struggle more with this one, but I'm actually not finding it too bad. I think because I went over it with the damp foamy spongy thing. It softened it a little bit. Gave it a bit of you know, dampness. Okay, and then I'll just give it a little wipe. Now the nice thing about the PVA glue is that it does dry clear, so I'm not concerned about that. I just want to make sure I've squeezed this down properly, and I don't think I've left enough fabric, but I will manage. It's just a little bit because it's going to be held inside as well. So note to self, leave yourself more fabric. I haven't done enough, but there we go. This is one. This is exciting to me. Yeah. Okay. And that, see, that will glue. That's going to be the front because that one's not faded. So that way it will slightly glue on there. It will do it. It will do it a little bit. It's okay. We will survive. Okay. Right. So let's leave that to dry, and let's at least do, I need that, but I'll just put the lid on. Let's at least do the papers inside. Now they're going to be covered up. The papers are going to be covered up. So I'm just going to choose, just a minute, I've got them here, a couple of scrapbooking papers that I don't love. Like they don't, it's not that I don't like them, they don't really fit in with the colors that I do, like this one for example, but I think this one is too short. In this case I want my papers to this is kind of, yeah, I think I'll use this one. And as I said, I am covering them up, so don't be shocked. I know this is a Tim Holtz, but it's very dark. I don't go into the dark colors so much, so that's why I'm using them. So that's going to glue on one, and you'll find if you had a really damaged book like this, it's going to be all lumpy. This covers it so well, like you can't even hardly feel it once you've glued it down. That's what I was really interested in showing. So let me find, I know I've had more. Oh, where have I put all of my scrapbooking papers? Huh? I had a whole lot there. I can't find them now. This is a problem. I just dropped something behind as well. Just bear with me 1 second. Don't tell me I've put them in that drawer. I might have. Just let me move all my things. Okay. No, I did not. Well, that's bizarre because I had a huge pile of scrapbooking papers, a huge pile, and they're not revealing themselves to me. Oh, I found them. Huh, told you. Look at this. I did have them. Sorry, guys, that little interlude. I'm going to do a New Year's tidy up, I think, in here because... See, that one's nice. I like that. That's more, a bit softer, not quite as dark as that one. So these ones are not really, they're lovely, but they're not really in my color scheme. So I'm going to use one of those. And don't, you know, don't faint. As I said, I am covering it up. I'm just going to make it the same as the other one. There and there. Get your cutter. You want them to be straight-ish. That one there. So that's done, and then we need to choose. So let's glue these on first. I don't need my mat anymore for the moment until I put my signatures in, which will be in a whole other video because that takes a while. So let's put the glue. I put the glue onto the paper. Actually, I might put a bit of glue into the holes, as you know, the tracks as well, just in these particularly deep ones. And honestly, the whole grossness of the damage of these, you won't even know when it's all put together, except for the exterior, the little few holes that you can still see. I feel like, you know, it's so sad that these books were damaged. And honestly, I think the dealer threw out a whole lot of these particular ones. And I kind of regret I didn't ask him for them. Like, he would have made me pay for them. But they could have been, as I said, I did freak out because there were some ones that were even worse than this. And I wasn't sure what I would do with them. So I only grabbed a couple. And I kind of regret that I didn't save all of them. I think some of the exteriors were more damaged than these ones. Those ones I would have left, and I did leave. But it's a shame because it was like, he probably had the whole set. I don't know how many volumes or tomes they call them were in this particular one. But he probably had the whole set, which then gives it, depends also on the argument, like what the book is about, how valuable it is. But when you have a whole collection, it makes them fairly valuable. He would have paid a pretty price for them. And it's a shame that they then got attacked by worms. I'm just running this, just getting rid of air bubbles, that sort of thing. However, it's good for us because they're damaged. And I personally, you know, ones that are really damaged like this, I would not want to put it in my bookcase. Not because, like, I've frozen them. There's nothing, yuck, you know, they're all, if there was anything alive, they're dead now. But, I don't know, there's like, you know, if they're still all together, it's hard to get all the book dust out and stuff like that. So, and some of the books I have sold have had the book dust in them. But not too bad. Like, just give them a good old shake and it'll come out. But these particularly damaged ones, I think it's very hard to, you know, get them really clean. I mean, you can, like, you'd have to work at them. So I think by pulling them apart, you can definitely clean them up. So it does give us the opportunity to be able to give them a new life. Put back in some of the original pages, especially these ones. The pages are in great condition. So look, you might receive them and think, oh, I don't want to do anything with it. In which case, I'd just maybe just go through it with a brush. Shake it, go through it with a brush just to clean it. There's nothing in there now. So it's really just a matter of cleaning it up. But I do think they're lovely books to make into a journal that you're going to pick up and look at and appreciate, rather than just know it's sitting in the bookcase. Right. Oh, I didn't tell you last night. Yes, we went to dinner with our friends. The food was shocking. I hardly ate anything, but we'd had a aperitivo at their house. So, and they'd put out a big platter of stuff, and I was like, I was already nearly full anyway. So I just used that as my excuse. The food was like inedible, which is incredible for here, but it's true. But we had a lovely evening, and we went into Sant'Angelo, into our town, and it was like a nightclub. They turned the whole square into a nightclub. Helen, you've been there. You would, and Juanette, the square with the arch. They had a DJ, they had lights, they had, you know, flashing, you know, colourful disco lights, and they were on the council building, they were projecting images. Some of them were quite nice, some of them I didn't like. And it was just packed. But I was pretty tired because I got up at 4:45 yesterday. I tried to sleep in. I knew I needed to sleep in. I just don't sleep well. I need to do something about it. Like I'll sleep my 4 or 5 good hours. That's good sleep. And then I kind of wake up, and usually when I wake up, I'm up. That's it. My brain switches on. I'm thinking about all the things that need to be done, and I'm up. And we haven't seen Lulu yet. She stayed the night at her friend's. I think there were 4 of them staying all together. They went to the nightclub, but I did get a message at about 2:30 that they were having fun. That they, because it was a bit of a you know, daggy. Does anybody does anybody other than Australians know what daggy means? It means a bit of a sort of like not the most hip and happening nightclub that they went to, but I think it opened for I'm going to put a Florentine paper on one side, and on the other side I'm going to put an old 1700s book page. Yeah, it was really bit of a, I think it was a bit of a daggy nightclub, and but I think they only opened it for New Year's Eve, because I don't actually think it's one that's always open. I think these colours are going to be great with the, and this is one of the antique papers by Remondini. It's a reproduction, obviously. It's new, and no, I can't scan it because it is new, so it will have copyright on it. But it's the famous, this is what they use to cover the books. Some of these Florentine papers are the actual, well, these are just Italian papers. These ones are more Venetian. But they were the ones that were on the exterior of these books. So I think it's fitting that the book has one of these papers. Wouldn't you love to have the old ones, the actual old ones? But anyway, this is going to go on there like so. So we're preparing our thing, even though I can't put it all together yet because that needs to dry. In theory, I think I will leave it until tomorrow because I don't think it will be dry enough. I don't want to risk that it's going to come off. Not that's not supporting or anything, but I want it to dry properly, so, and stay flat. So we'll just do this, and then I'll have to do that in the next video. So that's going to go there, and then I have to find, I might glue that on now. That I'm going to glue on with my Giotto glue stick. I know some people have glue sticks that they say, they have told me that it just comes off. You have to use a lot, and there are, no 2 glue sticks are the same. So there are some brands of glue stick that don't stick so well. This Giotto glue stick, as you know, it really does glue really well, and it glues fabric too. I don't tend to use it on the exterior of my journals because that's a battle sort of ground, like it can be knocked and everything. So I really want to use a PVA glue, or you might have Fabri-Tac or those other fancy glues. That is really strong, super strong. But this, honestly, I think there probably wouldn't be too many problems if I were to use this. But certainly on the inside, and especially because I've got the cardstock underneath, this is just fine. It's going to stay. It's not going to go anywhere. I put plenty. And now I'm going to choose, that's pretty, but it doesn't really go with the colours of the book. And thank goodness this doesn't have a direction, because that was the thing, the size. So this does, oh no, so that was okay, that's going in the front and this is going in the back. So if this is the back, just a minute, I better work this out, hadn't I? So that's going to be, that's how it is. That's how it's going. So that'll be all right. I'll survive with that. I think it is a bit upside down, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to put that one there, and I need to grab, I'm going to grab, let me see what I have here. I wanted a small rag paper. shouldn't be there. I really do need to tidy up. I've gotten myself in a mess. There's a lovely one, but I wanted to see if I had one with more of a decoration on it. Because as I mentioned, the title pages of these books, I couldn't recover them. They were so badly damaged. I couldn't use them. There was no way. Oh, here we go. Like to put something like that on. What have I got here? That one's not big enough, otherwise I'd put that one on. But I think that's nice because it's going to be at the back. That could be nice. Oh, that's lovely. I think I might put that one. That's 1802. That's still a rag paper, but it's not 1700. So I want something 1700. So I could put decisions now. Let's see. I could put that one. I think I really like that one. Look at that. That just feels really nice to me. I think I'm going to choose that. Okay. So I'll just take that off. And I do need to... Now, I'm going to have fabric over there. So I do need to remember... I want to kind of center it. So I will have to trim it. It is going to have straight edges. I could rip it, but sometimes rag paper is hard to rip. And I actually kind of need this to go... I need to trim a little bit off here. There. And then I need to trim that off there. Okay. Got it. So it's not even stamped. Look at the stamping, the printing on it. It's crooked. Well, I don't know. I'm going to have trouble getting this one straight, I think. Let's see here. I start there. Trying to eyeball. Do I have that reasonably straight there? I don't think so. That's that. Let me see here. Oh, it's really hard. I think maybe like that. We'll try. Yes, that's not looking too bad, is it? So then I'm going to just take, see that, how crooked that is? Just take that little bit off. And that is not, I'm going to lose that, so I need to take that bit off first. There. And there. Okay. I may have trimmed it a bit smaller, but it doesn't matter if you can see a tiny bit of the scrapbooking paper behind. You probably think I'm totally weird covering the scrapbooking paper, but honestly, that's pretty. But I honestly don't use it that much. I'm going to put that there. Yes. Yes, I am. So I need some glue paper. The mess is real, honestly. So you can see my approach now to how I'm repairing the book, gluing things upside down, and I'm going to put it back together, put new life into it. Now, because this is a smaller, I'll say this so that way anyone who's working with a smaller book, you might have a book and be working along, or you may want to print out your papers. I printed my papers. I'll show you in a sec. I do have them already printed. I love that. Have them already printed. And I won't cover that. That's just going to be there. Put a little bit of washi there or something. We'll see about that. I like to get a feel for the journal before I make those kind of decisions. So that's going to go there. I'm going to flip this over. That will go in between. I'm going to use a little bit of tape to hold it in place for a minute. And then I'm going to create my floating spine. And that bit will glue on the outside. And I did make it very short, so I may have issues, but I will just deal with it. Don't make them as short as I did. I had what I would call a bit of a brain fart when I was putting that on. So yeah. So I'm going to tape it, and then I'll create my spine like I did for the other ones that we did the other day. And then that, when I've sewn in my signatures onto the spine, then we glue it onto there and it will glue here. And that will really hold it together. And this is just extra here, extra support. And it will be very little extra support. But anyway, that's how it's going to be. So that gives you the idea. I hope everybody had a wonderful evening yesterday, whether you did nothing or something. As I said in my video yesterday, it's never... the only one person I know in this world who always has an incredible New Year's Eve is my dad. He's 82, but he has some great friends and cousins and stuff that have amazing places, you know, like apartments and houses that right on with a great view of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. And every year, ever since I can remember, my dad has been invited to a party, and he sits there and he has prime viewing of the fireworks. And he rang me last night at 2 in the morning Australian time, when what was yesterday afternoon here, and he had come back, and I said, Dad, you are the only person I know that has the most incredible New Year's Eve every single year. And he said, I know, I'm a very lucky person. So there you go. So I hope everybody had a great time. I watched the Sydney fireworks on TV, which I just love them. And I don't think I saw any fireworks here because it rained exactly at midnight. So we didn't see any. But anyway, doesn't matter. So have a wonderful day, and I will be back, on Thursday with these, because tomorrow is what's in my box, and Wednesday is the first one of Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, our new project. And so then on Thursday I will be back doing this, and then on the weekend as well. So thank you so much for watching. And I forgot to show you the pages, excuse me. So sorry, I've already taken the borders off them, but I thought it was very fitting to put Italian style, so I printed them. You know how you can print your full page? You can do the full page, or you can do the full page, but there's like a border around it. So that's the size that I did. They are slightly bigger than what I need. The height is okay, but the way I've folded, I've got some left over from the other one. I folded them a bit smaller, so that way they will fit. So yeah, I've got some already folded. They're botanicals, and I'm mixing them in with the Italian papers, because I thought, and Italian churches I'm using. So I've got some of they're all different Italian travels ones, and then Italian churches, and then botanicals. Yeah, that's what I thought. I like to do them mixed, you know me. So yeah, we'll do that, but that'll be in the next video. I'll pull out all the stuff that I want to put in so we can get cracking. We'll glue it. We'll glue this all together, and then that can be drying, and we can do the spine and stitch in the signatures onto the floating spine, the hidden spine thing. Okay, so have a wonderful day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.